And what's turning out to be quite the verbal slugfest. The House Republican leader is taking on the White House over the economy. Congressman John Boehner is calling on President Obama to fire his economic advisors. Well, our CNN congressional correspondent Brianna Keeler is joining us to talk about what's behind all of this. Clearly, they look at it as a political win, I guess, but this is a pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, and this is a battle, Suzanne, that is all about jobs and the sputtering economy. John Boehner, the top Republican in the House, who would likely be the Speaker if Republicans are able to gain control of the House, put up his dukes today, saying that Democrats have failed to create jobs and grow the economy. In the Republican corner, hailing from Ohio, John Boehner.
President Obama should ask for and accept the resignations of the remaining members of his economic team, starting with Secretary Geithner and Larry Summers, the head of the National Economic Council.
Fighting for the president, Delaware's own Joe Biden.
First, let's review a little bit of history here. For 8 years before we arrived in the West Wing, Mr. Boehner and his party ran the economy and the middle class literally into the ground. They took a $237 billion operating surplus inherited from the Clinton administration and left us with a $1.3 trillion deficit.
Boehner jabbed at the president's plan to let the Bush tax cuts expire at the end of the year for Americans earning more than $250,000.
So let me be clear. Raising taxes on families and small businesses during a recession is a recipe for disaster, for both our economy and for our deficit. Period. End of story.
The counterpunch from Democrats, Republicans are protecting big corporations and overstating the number of small businesses affected by the tax hike.
Let's have a little truth in advertising here. There aren't 3% of the small businesses in America that would qualify for that tax cut of the top 2%. It's a Wall Street tax cut, not a Main Street tax cut.
Biden and other Democrats also hit Boehner for criticizing them without putting out a Republican proposal on the economy. Now, Boehner promised today that Republicans do have a plan based on what they've heard from Americans in what's really an online listening tour for the last few months, and that they will release that next month.
And Brianna, I understand they're already using this back and forth, punch, for fundraising now.
Yeah, that's right. This is a letter that went out in an email from the National Republican Congressional Committee from John Boehner, highlighting what he talked about in the speech today. Obviously asking for votes, but also asking for money. Anything you can give, it said, $25, $50, $100 or more.
All right, Brianna, thank you so much. Appreciate it.